Now I'm going to show you how to test yourself for your abdominal separation. One important thing I want to mention is that when you go from the sitting to the lying down position, you want to do whatever you can to protect your abdominals. So rather than just plunging backwards and sitting straight up, I want you to do something I call the sexy slide. So I want you to slide arms and legs together onto your side. And then once you're here, arms and legs together, move on to your back. So we're trying to avoid the heave-ho that many of us do when we're getting out of bed that can serve to weaken that connective tissue. Once you're lying in this position, you want to keep your belly as loose and relaxed as you can. So don't tension or tighten these muscles at all. And you're going to find your belly button and let your fingers come just a tiny little bit above the belly button. And you're going to apply downward pressure into the connective tissue right at this point with your fingers at this angle. Give yourself a few breaths to really sink into the connective tissue. This is a fairly subjective measurement, but you're looking for the depth of the soft tissue. Shallow means you don't sink in very far. Deep means your fingers plunge all the way down and you can feel the pulsing of your abdominal aorta. And medium is somewhere in between. So get a gauge as to how thin your connective tissue is. And then what you're going to do is bring your chin up towards your chest, keeping your shoulders down. So you're going to lift up like this, not working your abdominal muscles, keeping everything very loose. And you're feeling the borders of those two rectus muscles and seeing how many fingers you can fit in that space. Now, if you don't feel the borders of those muscles, you can come up a little bit higher until you feel them engage. Just know that the higher you come, the more those rectus abdominis muscles approximate and you won't get an accurate reading. So coming on up like so, and then back down again. If you still don't feel those muscles, you may need to add a second hand because occasionally the separation is so wide you won't feel it unless you have two hands palpating. Now you're going to test at a different position, halfway between your belly button and your sternum, and you're looking for the same two things again, depth and width, just lifting the head up, keeping the shoulders down. And then the final position you're going to test is halfway between the belly button and your pubic bone. Again, applying pressure and looking for the depth of the separation, as well as the width when you raise your head up, keeping shoulders down and your abdominals loose and relaxed. In terms of normal, everybody has a tiny separation there. It's about a ½ centimeter. So think about the distance between your knuckles. That might be considered a normal separation. Anything over 2, I think, is cause for definitely a rehab program like this. If you feel like you don't have a separation and are now wondering, am I in the right place? Should I even be taking this class? This is the absolute best class to start strengthening your core, whether you have a separation or not. This is the place you should be. I wish this is a class that every woman would take before she did any other form of exercise.